So you guys all know it's Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday, August the 15th. My goal is every Wednesday to chat with, talk with, interview with a real-life trader from somewhere in the world, ask them about their journey, their background, their experience, learn from their struggles, answer questions, ask about charts and companies and all that kind of good stuff. And with us today, the good man Sammy.
Hello.
Who's actually here this whole week. One of the few people brave enough to trade with me and be with me for an entire week. So that's pretty fantastic. Linderman saying, hey.
Hey, Justin.
We're going to go to Matt DeLong's house later tonight for a barbecue. And so I think, Linderman, you were, you missed that dinner, Linderman. Sorry to rub in your face, but Linderman was at the place. But Tony was there. Tony, so you remember Sammy. So this is the same guy that you met. Yeah. So anyway, Sammy, tell us a little bit about your background in stocks, man. When's the first time you heard the word stock market?
Years ago. When did I first get interested in, or when did I first ever hear about it?
When was like the first inkling of it's happening?
That's a tough question. I can't. But I started getting interested maybe 2011.
Okay.
And I started breaking that wall, that stigma around trading stocks. Like it's not for everyone. It's a gambling thing.
Right. Right.
But then I slowly started reading about it. Got a book. I started reading about it, but it was so fundamental stuff.
What was the book? Do you remember?
Trading for Dummies.
Oh, nice. Okay. The classic.
It was an interesting first step, but yeah, then I got more interested, and I thought I'd just dive in.
Sure.
Yeah. Instead of just putting my toes in, I just dove in. It's just, yeah.
Did you start trading real money at the time?
No, first time I traded money was maybe a year and a half after I started learning.
Okay.
It took me
you waited a whole year and a half to trade real money.
Yeah.
So you're cautious.
Cautious, and I blame options. It was just too complicated for me to start jumping in.
Yeah.
And also, I came from fundamental learning, which was really complicated with all the numbers and the learning, reading all these reports, which I didn't like.
Right.
So yeah, it took me a while to get brave enough to use real money.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I can understand that. I mean, did you have a feeling that you didn't have enough money to buy shares, and that's why you weren't buying shares?
At the time, I was going through a lot of financial plans, and there wasn't enough to put priority for this.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the reason why I had to wait a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I waited enough to get enough, because I was always told, it was you actually who said, if it's less than 3,000, don't even consider.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just waited.
Yeah, makes sense. Tell us a little bit about your background, because you mentioned something interesting to me a few days ago. You talked about, when you were growing up, the retirement thing. That wasn't even something that was discussed.
I wasn't told anything about how we retire, even saving money. The only thing I've been told since I was young is just real estate.
Okay.
My dad is always into buying summer houses, renting them out, just all real estate, and that's still my plan. Long-term plan to get into more real estate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's no such thing as retirement outside of the U.S. Where I lived in Egypt and Qatar. No one ever talks about that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a shock.
Was there a different word for retirement, or is it that word?
Just no one's planning for it.
Wow.
It's you just got to do it. What do you call it when it's something like something you have to realize yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
So that was in Egypt and Qatar. How long did you live there?
Egypt, 9 years. Qatar, 12. Most of my school years were in Qatar. College was in Egypt. And then I moved to US when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm 36.
Yeah. So you're bilingual?
Yes.
Which is a killer skill.
Yeah. I probably may need to make use of it, but yeah.
Killer skill, man. I love it. He was on the phone with a buddy talking the day. I was just blown away.
Oh,
It just sounds so cool because I have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah. It was actually interesting. Like right after I hung up with him and I started talking to you,
Yeah.
I had to switch, and it was weird. It's sometimes weird when I
Sure.
have long conversations in one language and then
Yeah.
switch to the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing is I started speaking English when I was young, but then I went to Egypt and there was no English and it's just Arabic, and my Arabic is just as bad as my English. So then I didn't speak English for 9 years, and then all of a sudden when I came to US, it's just all English back again and no Arabic.
Yeah.
So it's confusing.
That fun transition.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you are one of the first traders to ever want to do this, like come down and spend a whole week in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's really cool so far.
Why? Why did you say that?
It's fun, like seeing your energy, just orbiting around your energy and seeing how you go with your day. It's just it's something to witness. It's amazing.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we're only Wednesday. Like we got tomorrow, all day Thursday, all day Friday, and you're leaving Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So far we're halfway through. What's your biggest takeaway, or do you have?
My biggest takeaway is your discipline with your routine.
Okay.
How you don't think twice, because your procrastination level is impressively low. And
that's a good compliment.
Yeah,
Thanks,
procrastination can be an addictive thing.
Sure.
And the more you think about it, the worse it gets, and that's something I probably need to work on myself. And that's a big thing I've noticed. Just do it, just go for it.
Right.
Do your schedule, do your planning, and then just go for it. The moment you start thinking about it, the longer, like minutes will just pass on, and it just.
Because the thing is, most people, like, let's take working out for example. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do it. You're tired, or you're sore, you're hungry, or you got something to do. You'll think about it. If you sit there and think about it for 30 seconds or a minute, like you'll hesitate.
Yeah.
You might not do it at all.
It's actually, when I think about how procrastination works, like this week, it's like because I love running. I've been running since 2013. I learned while running is that if you slow down or if you walk, it'll just get worse. So you just got to keep running, just got to keep going. Maybe slow down your running, but just don't stop running. So this is something I want to apply to my daily life. If you get tired, just do it slowly or something, but just don't stop.
Okay.
Stopping just makes it worse and just pushes things up. Like it just screws up your schedule.
Right. That's killer. What's another takeaway?
Positive energy. Which I will admit I have positive energy.
You do,
my
for
friends
sure.
tell me that, but I feel like there's a lot more that I can open up. Like I can not become what do you call them, happy-go-lucky kind of person,
right?
But apply your positivity to people and to the things you're doing, and then you'll always see things coming back. It's an interesting thing that I've been going through since December. I've been going out and meeting new friends, going to festivals, going to concerts, and just meeting people. This positivity is it's great. It's great. And because when I came here, I had a level of positivity, but then I see your life, your daily life. I feel like, no, there's a lot more. Like my starting point is already high, but I feel like I need to go higher. Like I need to go more, because the more positive you give out, the more return you get.
It has to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another story I wanted to share was when you mentioned something that you did about getting out of your comfort zone, where it was you went up and just wanted to talk to people and just start a friendship and just do things that you've never done before.
Yes.
How has that made an impact in your life? Because personally, I've known you for now about 6 years. 5.5, 6 years. And I think over the last, I would say the first 4 years, you were one way. And then the most recent 2, there's been some dramatic changes in your life.
Yeah. And it's all because I feel like trading in general, even though life is not about trading, there's a lot more to it. But I feel like there's a lot of psychology behind it. And I started thinking, like in my life in general, I was really shy before. And I was, what do you call a person that's not...
Introverted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was such an introvert. And I liked living alone, not meeting people. But then I decided to just go out and see what happens.
How do you make that decision? That's a hard decision to make, man.
It's crazy. Some of
what
them
was your breaking point?
Some of them were it's just some personal stuff I went through. I don't know if I want to mention that, but it's just some low times in my life that I decided just to go. Some of the decisions were bad, but then if you look at your like if you fail in something, there's always an advantage that you can take from, like positivities.
Mm.
I can't think of an example right now, but just going out, there's a ton of things that can happen, and I like to call it a sequence of events. Something always starts with, I don't know if like like I was telling you, a pool table, like a billiard pool.
Yep.
When you break the ball,
Right.
it starts, reactions start happening, and things will always happen after that. And it just opens up to more and more events to happen. If you stay at home and not do anything, nothing will happen. Same thing with educating yourself and just, I don't know, like just going out and just meeting people. There's a ton of stories I can tell you about things that I went through this from since December.
Sure.
But it's gonna take hours.
Well, that's good though, man. So you had a big personal change in your life. You had a lot of things that were happening to you personally, and you said, you know what? Let me just make a change and make some type of shift now, so that I can grow or progress.
And if something bad happens, like you fail in something, it's fine. It just opens up to more. Like if you fail, you have more information. And something I've learned also in stocks, like if you in trading, if you fail in a trade, you lose money. But when you lose money, you look at it as a price you paid to learn that lesson, and like look back and learn what happened, why it failed and stuff. And it's the same thing in life. Like, why did it fail? And like learn from your failures. And it's always keep an eye for the more doors of opportunity ahead.
Right.
It's, I don't know. It's just positivity. Keep a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And just keep going.
When you mentioned earlier that trading was very, I forget the word you used, mental or psychological, I think is what you said. What parts do you think specifically are psychological?
Trusting yourself.
Big one.
Don't judge yourself. Like, don't keep telling yourself you're greedy, you're cheap. All these words, like it's this whole psychology around money is just a number. That's something that needs to be built,
explored more.
Yeah, explored more, and you need to go through an experience of. It takes time to get to this. I want to call it stone cold heart, but it's not really. It's just chill, you know, like chill and just go for it. And also, like, don't be worried about fear. Like, don't let fear stop you.
The greed thing is huge. People use the term all the time.
Yeah. And then the whole coulda, woulda, shoulda kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Stop saying I should have been here, I should have done that. I don't believe in regret. There's always things to learn and just keep on going. Like, if, let's say, for example, in a trade, if you feel like you could have done something or should have done something, and you start thinking if time went back, if you'd gone back, you could have made better. But no, it doesn't work like this. If you went back, you'll have the same mentality and the same thing, and you'll do the same exact mistake. That's what I believe in. Like, it's you just have to learn and accept the future.
Then how would you apply that if you could have done something and you didn't? You were all. How do you apply that mistake to a future trade, in your opinion?
Better planning, just learning. Like, stop looking at your past as something that can be changed.
Okay.
Just there's always the now, and then there's the future. And I believe the future has a lot more than what happened before. We're so naive to think that the past, or we look at the future according to our past. I don't think that's the way to do it, because the future is always open to other things. So, like,
that's a good takeaway.
Yeah. Just keep on doing. I don't know. Like, just keep on moving forward and stop looking at the past as it was. All these words, like, it was wrong, it was right, it was whatever. Just there's always more to go. There's always more to happen.
It happened, so move on.
Right.
Interesting. And I know that you took up extra jobs at work, overtime, even Ubering.
Yep.
To start making more money.
It's something I've been doing since I was since graduation. I just didn't like, even though I'm shy and I like to stay at home, but I didn't like being just sitting doing nothing. I feel like time goes on and other people are progressing in their life, and I'm just doing nothing. The same example I told you about watching TV.
Yeah.
The people behind the screen are doing so much money and progressing in their life, and I'm just sitting on my couch eating chips, doing nothing. So in Qatar, I had a full-time job, a part-time job, and freelancing. And then when I moved to US, I realized that there's a ton of things more to do here. And so yeah, I sometimes I do Uber. I did Uber rides. I do Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart. I even applied for Walmart
Nice.
just to
Okay.
put things on shelves. Part of
Sure.
it because I love being around strangers,
Yep.
and so I want to do something that doesn't require a lot of thinking, but also be around people.
Right.
Um, I think it's amazing to be around strangers. Everyone, all these parallel lives going on
At the same
around you
time.
at the same
Yeah.
time. It can be bad, it can be good, but it's
Yeah.
you can always see things, just witness things from the bads and the good people. It's
I love that,
I did a
man.
lot of volunteering. I love like I did the Asian Olympics. I was a volunteer, and all I did is just wait for papers coming out of printers, and then you copy them, Xerox them, and just go around giving copies to whatever judges or whatever around.
Mm,
It was so easy, but it was filled with a lot of interesting people to talk to and just be
yeah.
around.
Well, if you meet strangers, your brain experiences new things and new faces and new environments, new
Exactly,
energies, new auras, and like it shakes you up a little bit, gets you
exactly,
out of your comfort zone.
exactly.
Because no one inherently, not even me, like just like walk up to a random person, just like starting a giant conversation. It's like that. It's just not natural, I guess, to do. But if you start doing it and you start getting the habit of it, then it
Right.
becomes more
There has
natural.
to be a common ground.
Exactly.
Like in a party, if I go to a party, a friend's party, the people there that are strangers, we're there for the party, so that's common.
Mhm.
If I'm at the Olympics, for example, I'm volunteering, we're all there because of that Olympics. So it has to be some kind of common ground. That's why I said the Walmart thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're closed in your world for a long time, you kind of get so used to yourself, and then your thoughts in your head start getting louder, and you're just your own world. But then when you talk to strangers, you kind of accept that there's other things that are going on. And me
Hmm.
coming from another world,
Hmm.
coming to US, you kind of see this extreme changes. The culture changes, the
Mm.
religion, just the daily routine of how people live their lives, and it just like it does something to you. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing how it impacts you in ways.
Here's a question because I don't think many of us here who are listening to this know, but what would be this random example or random question? What would be two or three things that you notice that are just massively different between Egypt and the US? Just like from a day to day, like cultural.
Um,
Because I've never been to Egypt, I don't know.
a lot of the things in Egypt, for example, are or the Middle East in general are based upon religion.
Okay.
And I'm Muslim. I don't practice Islam that much, but the whole country is like the laws and the rules. Like in Ramadan, where people fast from sunset to sunrise to sunset. There's
Okay.
no eating. There's no so like most of the restaurants close during that day.
Wow.
Companies work from
The whole
the
country.
whole country. They work from businesses work from 45 hours a week to down to like 15,
Uh-huh.
20 hours a week. So things slow down. There's not a lot of progress going on in the country. But so here, I don't know if it's a religion thing, but everyone's so free to do their own thing. They're not
Hmm.
following a specific religion or a
Hmm.
specific law that's based on religion. So
Hmm.
that's one aspect.
Okay.
And it opens up your world because if you're not told what to do and then you realize what you want to do, it becomes there's more potential for other things.
Sure.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
Makes
it's
tons of
just
sense.
that's one thing I realize here that, and I'm sorry if anyone's religious or anything, but for me personally, I feel like religion is a burden. That when I decided I'll just slow down a little bit, it opens up a part of my brain to do other things
Hmm.
for myself,
Hmm.
and I feel like myself, and that's sometimes I feel like it's fine to be selfish, to think
Hmm.
of yourself more than uh, I don't know if that's gonna sound, but but yeah, like this is one of the things I like about here that there's you can just do whatever you want.
Right.
It doesn't have to be good or bad or whatever. Just
Right.
you're thinking for yourself.
And that's the market at its finest. The stock market, being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want,
Yeah,
it's right
yeah. You
there.
have to have that mentality that you
Yeah.
can do what you want. Um, but yeah.
Oh, totally, totally. So Pat asked a good question. He goes, "This is great stuff. Which tools, books, techniques have you found helpful?"
Um, well, a lot of Jeremy, of course. Uh, there's like you're 80% of my knowledge of stocks
Okay.
right now.
Hey, I'll take that, man.
And then I made a couple or three friends out of like StockTwits. It's not a good place to start, but there's
Sure.
a person that I talk to. I try to find traders to talk to. Books, I don't read that many books about trading, like specific technical analysis.
Okay.
But a lot of podcasts. Um,
Which podcast do you listen to?
what was Alpha Seek Alpha or
Seeking Alpha
Seeking Alpha?
podcast?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice. I did not know they had a podcast.
yeah. No, it's nice to see professional traders that talk about something that's recent because books they give you good information about trading specific technical analysis things, but it's not recent. So then you can update it as it goes, like every day and stuff. Like the podcasts are like it's a daily or a weekly. Um, I don't know if I can answer that specifically, but just try to find people that have the same amount of experience as you
Mhm.
and just share
Get
knowledge
together.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one person I met at a concert which is really random. We were outside waiting for the people to like calm down so we can get our Uber or whatever. And I was just outside and he asked for a cigarette and I asked for water, so we exchanged that. And then I told him this is just like this is what I do. I trade.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Wow, I trade too." And just we started talking.
That was
and,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, killer. That's
And
an
I've
immediate
known
connection.
him. We text and talk every single day.
This Peter?
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. Um,
Very cool. Let's switch gears for a moment. So you drive Uber pretty often. Do you think that Uber, do you ever think they're going to IPO?
yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Are you going to buy some?
Sure, yeah, because
Huh.
they can their expansion is global. So
Mhm.
unlike Spotify, for example, or anything that has subscription based, even though their limit is the population of the world, but I feel like their growth is not as other companies that don't have like Spotify. What's the maximum they can get the whole population?
Yeah, I
To
mean, that's, who knows?
I,
Very similar to Netflix, I guess, Spotify. Like they're,
well, Netflix they do. I don't know how Netflix make how else do they make money from other than subscription? I'm not sure. Like, do they
that's really
their
it.
own production?
That's really it. Just
Um,
massive subscription model.
but what I'm saying is that Uber can expand
It's a
really
bigger,
quickly.
yeah, yeah. Spotify, they only have that, but Uber, you can have tons of people. What's some incentive programs for driving, and would you consider other traders maybe if they're retired, they don't have anything else to do, should they drive Uber? What's your take on it as a business?
So my issue with Uber is that a lot of people use it as a job or a main income even.
Okay.
I don't see it that way. I like it to if you need like a couple $100 emergency or some plan. I want to travel to Australia, for example, so I put a plan and I instead of using my own money from my income, I do Uber just to make that amount.
Okay.
So it's something like this that helps because Uber is kind of people take it the wrong way that if I make $100, that 100 goes to there's like the taxes and gas
Mm-hmm.
and tear wear of your car.
Yep.
So like the 100 goes down to like $40 or something. So it's not as amazing as it sounds, but it's
Right.
still money.
Right.
Still, and it's so easy because you drive. Everyone drives.
Right.
If I'm driving back from home from work, I just go online. If anything picks up, fine. If it doesn't, either way, I'm going home.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you just do it on the way from work to your house.
Every day, and this way I can put my miles for more tax deductibles.
Interesting.
So it helps that way.
Interesting.
Anything I do, like today I went to change my tires on my car. I put that in my deductibles.
Okay.
Because my main job doesn't require driving, but the other job, Uber, the job requires a lot of driving, so I can put this as a deductible. So it helps in tiny ways like this.
Have you done Lyft?
I did Lyft once and I got in an accident. And I don't want to get back to it, but it's just a personal thing. Some people go both, like go online on both.
Right.
They're both the same. There's really no difference much.
No massive difference.
Yeah.
Interesting. What could come? Do you think there's a future in advertisers paying Uber drivers to like sponsor something?
I was going to do that. When I had a minivan, I had like a tiny TV.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to put your ad here. In a way.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was legal, if I get in trouble. But that was a good
Dude, can
idea.
you look into that for me?
I should, yeah.
I would love to pay you, man, because you'll get people interested in trading, and I know for sure if I tell you, hey man, tell people about real life trading for an extra $100 a week.
Yes. Okay.
You know,
That's
something like that.
right. Right.
Go get a bunch of Uber drivers.
There's a lot because when you're in a car with a stranger, and it's always awkward to if you stay quiet, it's awkward. But then if you start talking, you can just talk about anything, and you have this window of time, like 10 minutes to talk about anything.
Yeah.
So I always try to switch conversation because you're the host in the car.
Yeah.
So you can take control of what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I ask because I want to find traders. So I always ask you, like somewhere in the conversation, do you trade?
2 minutes into my Uber, do you trade the stock market?
Well, yeah. I mean, the weird thing is I did more than 350 trips and none of them were traders. I didn't ask every single one, but
yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, you can talk about anything. I can tell them go to real life trading.
How do you know when to be quiet, when to talk, when not to talk?
I ask.
You always ask?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What do you say?
Or sometimes you can tell from the body language.
Sure.
Or depending on the day or in the week. Saturday nights, Friday nights, everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to dance in the car.
Right.
But like if it's Sunday at 10 a.m., most probably they just don't want to talk. And yeah, I mean, you just gotta find. It's better to ask if you want to get into a deep conversation because sometimes they just want to sit and be quiet.
Sure,
so, yeah.
I agree. I think asking is key because like Ben's saying, usually you just get in, they just start going off. You know, they start chatting.
Right, and I don't like this because that's something I know in taxi drivers in general. They're quiet for a long time in the day. So when they start talking with a rider, they just go on and talk and forget how much they're talking.
Yeah.
So I know this. Like I don't want to be that. Like, but yeah, and also I was doing Uber for fun and not for a job.
Yeah.
So I have a nice list. I should show you this. Like a list of reviews of people giving me reviews. It's just amazing. Like when I feel low in some days or something, I just look at this and it's just amazing how people. They tell you this was the best ride. This was so because I was doing it for fun. I wasn't doing it as a job. If I was doing it as a job,
sure, it's a little different.
It's
just doing it for a side hour here and there,
right?
For a good time.
Yeah.
What do you do with that money? Is that cryptocurrency money? Is that savings? Is that you said that's what you use to buy tickets?
For plans, yeah.
Okay.
Plans that are not supposed to be done when I have other priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to Australia, for example, that's going to cost me a little bit. So.
How do you measure your payouts in Uber? Is it per week, per day, per hour, or per customer? Like, how do you personally, because like some people say I get paid $10 an hour, or I get paid $10 a trip, or I get paid $100 a week. What's
I look at it hourly.
Hourly,
yeah. Okay. But then I look at it hourly, but I have a plan per week.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's nice to have. And also Uber has these incentives, like if you complete a few trips, you get bonuses, which also turns into like a game. Like you're, I don't know if you played GTA. You have
Grand Theft Auto. At some point, a long time ago.
Yeah, all you do is you have these missions to finish.
Yep.
So what I do is I have these amounts of rides that I want to finish, and just get to that mission, like get to that final goal.
How many trips have you done in your Uber career?
For riders, I stopped doing riders in 2015. Now I'm just doing delivery.
Oh, you do just food. Okay.
Uber Eats.
Nice.
Which is a lot more fun.
Uber Eats is more fun than what? Why?
Because giving food to people that are hungry
is a good feeling.
It's amazing. Yeah, the face they have. Like if you order food in your home,
you're hungry.
You're waiting for that person to
get so excited.
Food. So
no one's mad at you.
Exactly. When you're riding, they're drunk. They just because I was driving when if anyone here from Chicago knows the Cubs, when the year before the World Series, they were so close and people were really upset. And they get in my car and it's just super quiet. One guy started punching the ceiling of my car, and you can't talk to him. He's drunk and he's upset. So this kind of thing, like you get the ups and downs from the riders.
Weird.
But for Eats, maybe the downside about Uber Eats or delivering food is the smell of food.
That's the downside.
Torture.
Eat someone's food. Sorry, your chicken tikka masala is gone.
Yeah, sometimes I like, gosh, just take it and just if they cancel it, I'll just pay for it.
Now, how much thought have you given to how does Uber impact the stock market? How can we make money off of it? Is it tires? More tires are being used. We should invest in Goodyear, or is there?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. The first trading thought that came after doing Uber Eats is McDonald's.
McDonald's. Okay.
McDonald's. The
Why?
amount of orders. Like I think McDonald's, the best decision they did in the past years is they had a delivery option. And I don't know when they started,
Yeah.
but the amount of orders, like kids when they finish school,
Right.
they're home, they don't have a car. And you know, in McDonald's, I don't know if it's all states, but at least in Illinois, any size drink is $1.
Mm-hmm.
So a kid is at home. The cheapest way to get a drink of Coca-Cola is to get it from Uber Eats. It's $1 and then a $3 fee. That's
Sure.
$4. So you have these rides that is just the one drink or
No way.
one
You've done a ride for a drink.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Like I drive 15 minutes to a McDonald's, and it turns out it's just, and it's a walking distance too. Like some people just order it, it's a walking distance. And
that's so funny.
But McDonald's is like and unfortunately, it's like the kitchen of a lot of people. Like they just order from there, and during the weekends, people don't.
Dude, that's a great slogan. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Man, McDonald's should use that. Welcome to McDonald's.
Well,
Let's be your kitchen for the family.
Nice.
I mean, that would be, at least they would try. That's good. That's good. I like that. They should try that.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that are lazy to go out. They don't have a car.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy to deliver it.
Yeah, what kind of cut you get on that? Like if you did Uber Eats, is it that $3 service ride that you're talking about, or?
The customer pays different amounts, but the restaurant is what pays me the money.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who pays Uber itself. I think I'm gonna say it's the
restaurant. Yeah.
So yeah, the further the distance, obviously the more you get
Right.
paid.
So you just get like a flat fee.
There's a pickup pay, a drop off, and the distance and the time.
Okay.
It all adds up.
All those things factor in.
Yeah.
So what's something other than McDonald's that you thought of, like how Uber can impact the stock market? Markets in general. If anyone else has any ideas, let me know. Like I said, this is I do think Uber is gonna IPO at some point in the future, and that'll be a fun stock to trade.
It will, and I think they're really late at IPO because Uber right now is going through a lot of cities and actually around the world going through lawsuits. And
absolutely.
Taxi drivers.
Absolutely, taxi drivers are real. I mean, but why can't taxi drivers become an Uber driver?
Yeah, I mean. I don't know.
Well, they have to have their own car.
Right.
Taxi drivers usually.
Uber actually helps you to lease a car.
Really?
Unlimited miles.
Whoa.
I haven't tried it, but the people that tried it, I've gotten different reviews from them. Some people say it's too expensive. Some people say it's fine. They obviously have a little bit higher price, but because it's open miles, because you can't lease. My first car, minivan, was a lease, and you can't do all these miles when you have a lease car. But yeah, I mean. But back to where the taxi or the lawsuits and stuff, this is part of the disrupting, I guess.
The disruptive, that's the disruption.
Yeah, you're going to have enemies, you're going to have
absolutely
people, things attacking you. So I just think it's revolutionary and it's going to happen.
Who do they buy their cars from, Uber? Do they buy them from CarMax? Do they buy them, you're talking about the lease, is it Carvana?
No, I don't think, they're not used cars, they're just regular. I'm not quite sure, I didn't really dig into it. All I know is that if your lease is $250, for example, they take it off your paycheck, off your Uber pays.
Oh, okay.
The nice thing about it is that it's a lease, so you don't have commitment to the car, and it's unlimited miles. If you want to get your own car, you're gonna pay more monthly because it's a loan.
Right. Interesting. Tell me some more about other stocks. So you mentioned some other stocks that you're keeping your eyes on, and ironically, one of the ones you're keeping your eyes on is here on the screen. Tilray. What the heck is Tilray, man? What is this?
It's a pharmaceutical company that uses cannabis, and I think, if I'm not wrong, they're the first U.S.-based pharmaceutical company. I might be mistaken if someone knows.
Well, at least the first one on the NASDAQ, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I have a belief that.
Do you know what kind of pharmaceuticals? Like, what do they do?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I just believe that cannabis. I don't know if you're against it or with it. I just feel like it's going to be the next wave. just like crypto is a new wave. Or
Mhm.
I just feel like cannabis is just going to open up once all states legalize it. It's just going to change things drastically.
Do you think all states will legalize it?
At some point, yes.
Like it'd be federally or state based?
Well, right now it's state based.
Yeah.
At some point, it can be
Right.
federal. But the thing is, I believe that it's going to be the new wine.
Sure.
Like,
The
you know how
new
people
wine.
have their glass at night.
Yeah.
I just believe it's going to, and again, against or with cannabis, I think it's helping a lot of people more than it's
Hurting.
hurting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In any kind of medically specifically.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like because a lot of people compare alcohol and cannabis, and I feel like if alcohol is legal, then
Right.
there's no reason.
Just tax it a lot, and make money off of it.
Right. And
Yeah.
Colorado, I've heard great stories about tiny cities in Colorado
Yeah. Same
that
here.
they were known for coal mining,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly the population dropped half or whatever. I forgot the numbers, but when cannabis became legal, the city just boomed, and everyone was just making a lot of money, and and then the country makes like all the taxes go to you can pick whatever educational schools, whatever, if fix roads, fix bridges.
Sure.
There's a lot of benefits
Infrastructure. Right. What was the other one that you looked at? I think you mentioned
EXO.
XO. Is this the
No,
ticker?
EKSO. It's Exobionics.
EKSO. What does this one do?
So this is they do like
Nice.
a robotic suit.
Did you sell today, by the way?
No, I have a limit, but I might actually stay for longer because so I'll tell you the story. That
Yep.
they do like these robotic suits that a person wears so they're able to lift really heavy stuff in warehouses. Right now, if you look at it, the chart is dropping. Their earnings are bad, but that's mainly because they're spending a lot of money in research and development,
Yeah,
and
R&D.
they have a lot of funding from the government. Like DARPA is funding them, and the military is interested in them. And so what we're waiting for, or what I'm waiting for, is contracts to start getting in, and other companies start getting in. And I got in a few days before Ford announced that they're partnering with them, which is a huge thing. And when Ford uses them, GM will start getting interested, and that.
What do they use them for? Their warehouse, like
Their warehouse.
They put their workers on the line in these suits, so they become stronger and avoid less personal injury.
Just to be able to lift heavy, like
interesting
tons of heavy.
Sure.
Stuff. And they're also this is also
so become like you, strong
without
just strong with ribs.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also being used for military studying. Like they're studying it. They're doing their research to be used for military use.
So how'd you find this company? How do you do your research on like the TLRY and AKSO?
TLRY, I was the whole kind of cannabis thing. I believe more in the cannabis. Like I didn't do much research. I just like the idea, and it's also it doesn't have enough history to look at. But
sure.
But for EXO, I'm just waiting for more companies to get into it.
Do you remember how you heard about this one?
EXO?
Yeah.
Someone that works in an office next door where I work. He's been a trader for 20 years, and the way he was talking about it, I just had these keywords that I kept listening to him. He said keywords like DARPA, military, robotic. A lot of research and development.
Yeah.
And then I went back to my desk. It was like a small break at the time, and I went back to my desk and I looked it up, and it looked like they're like a serious thing that's going to blow if they get more contracts from warehouses.
Interesting. What's some other ones? Anything else that you know about or you heard about?
My phone is downstairs. No, the three favorite ones that I like are Roku, Starbucks, and Apple.
So tell me about Roku. Why the heck do you like Roku? Give me info on this.
So I've been following Roku since 2010, 2009.
Okay.
I forgot when. I just like I'm an Apple person.
Yep.
Okay, I feel like Roku is the Android version of TV,
Okay.
where you can install anything, you can use it for so many ways, so many things. It's more open than Apple TV, and there was a time when podcasts became a thing, like years ago, like
Sure.
a decade ago, and I feel like Roku came in at the good time, like this whole on-demand TV, because a lot of people, and I said this maybe a decade ago, like streaming is the future of TV, and Roku is just it has a ton of options to watch TV, and they're always coming up with new products and I don't know. I
When
feel
you
like
say
there's
products, like what do you mean products?
like new updates, new upgrades
Okay.
for the Roku box.
Mm,
And I don't see any competitors other than Apple, but Apple is different. Apple's just in a different world.
yeah.
I don't see any good competitors for a set-top box.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just the past 4 years I wasn't really following that as much. But from the history and the news that I watched when I started looking at them is that they're very dedicated to change how TV is used.
Interesting. Are they too good? Kind of like a GoPro? I mean, like you buy one and you're done. It's a very, very short like lifespan for the product.
Not really. They're kind of like Apple, like you have to buy one every year, but in a better way. It's so I have three Rokus so far. Four, sorry, four. I'm gonna say every 3 years, or every 3, 4 years.
So you buy them
I'll,
for because of an
it slows
upgrade
down.
or
It
oh
just
okay.
slows down and becomes.
How much
Yeah.
do they cost?
They range from $30, if I'm not mistaken, to 100. And that's another thing I love about them, that they have so many different types.
Hmm.
From like it's something like looks like a flash stick, USB stick,
Oh yeah.
HDMI,
Yeah, yeah.
to a remote control that you can plug in your headphone in the remote control set to
Whoa.
listen. So if your significant other is sleeping or something, you can
Yeah.
watch TV in your headphones. Just small things that they started off with a remote
Interesting.
control that's like a game controller, but I
Hmm.
don't think that did much.
Well, they're doing good on earnings. That's the thing is this earnings is the one that really surprised me. This huge gap back in November.
Yeah.
That was killer.
Because of my love for Roku, I bought a few shares the next day, the second day of IPO. And then
Sure.
I felt, because I don't like buying IPOs at the very beginning, that's how much I love them. But then I started feeling worried when it started going down. And now I regret. But I don't believe in regret, like I said earlier. So I'm just gonna,
Yep.
I'll probably wait a little bit more and then start
Start accumulating it.
heavily investing in this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So you like Roku, Apple you mentioned, and Starbucks. Why Starbucks?
So
Well,
Starbucks
you love coffee.
is tricky. The CEO that made Starbucks as we know, with so many branches everywhere and
Hmm.
this whole coolness about Starbucks,
Hmm.
he's leaving, and that worries me a little bit.
When's he leaving?
Um, I don't remember. I think sometime next year.
What's his name again?
I
Jeff
forgot.
Schultz, Jeff Holtz,
He's an
Schwartz.
amazing person, amazing CEO. I mean, um, when he was a CEO for a few years and then he left, and then Starbucks wasn't doing well, and so they brought him back, and then he made it even better. So now that he's leaving for political reasons, he wants to pursue political.
Mm, Kevin Johnson. I was way off.
So I still love Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks coffee specifically, only one maybe drink,
Hmm.
but I just like the company. I like how like this whole issue that happened in Philadelphia. I don't know if you know about this, where they arrested two
Yes.
people, but
Yes.
the way they dealt with it was impressive, honestly. Like the way they closed like 6,000 stores to do like a session for the employees to teach them
Hmm.
whatever. They have very, very good customer service. And for example, if I order a small drink and they give me a large one, for example, by mistake,
Right.
and I tell them I ordered the medium size, the grande size,
Right.
they would change it and they gave me a $10 gift card as an apology, even though they gave me a bigger one by mistake.
Sure.
So this kind of customer service is really important.
So why wouldn't they just let you keep the bigger one and give you the gift card?
Um,
I don't know if that's
I
better.
don't. Well, I mean, I didn't have to say anything. I could have just taken
Sure.
the
Sure.
large
Sure.
one. But this kind of customer service and like are also in their app, you get when you get to a certain points,
Yeah.
you get a free drink.
Yeah.
So the girl, the bistro inside, she was scanning my phone to get that free drink. She screwed up something, and she said, "This free drink is on me." So like I had another on her. I mean, so I had
Nice.
another free drink. And I don't know. I just like their attitude, their customer service.
Yeah, man.
All the way to the CEO.
Been around for a long time. I think it's probably like obviously some type of massive wave for, she'll accumulate for a little bit longer, but I could see, Starbucks.
I think it started dropping after the CEO announced that he's leaving. I'm not quite sure, but that's something I'm just looking at. I'm just seeing
keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. Interesting. What other Uber Eats or companies do you think are taking off because of deliveries? You mentioned McDonald's. What about Chipotle or Red Robin Gourmet Burgers? I don't know what's up in Chicago. Papa John's.
The Burger King.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Answer that question.
Burger King, because it's a competitor, they started with Grubhub, and I think they're also doing so well. But I'm not doing. I do Grubhub sometimes, but I'm not really focused on it.
Gotcha. So okay. Tell me what's the difference between Grubhub and Uber Eats?
It's okay. So it's also a delivery service, but Grubhub has more restaurants. I don't know why they have more than Uber Eats, but their structure is a little bit different. They have, as a driver, when a customer is ordering food, they put in the tips while they're ordering, so you always get the tips. But Uber Eats, I think they went with a more simplified way. You don't always get tips, so they do these incentives that I was talking about, or it turns like into a game kind of thing. You do a few rides and you get more bonuses.
Okay.
But Grubhub is more like you have to be committed as a delivery person. Like you have to select a window of time, like from 5 to 7, and you have to be online and you have to take orders. If you don't take orders, your rates will go down. You get less orders. So it's more like if someone wants to do this as an income, Grubhub is better. If you want to do it as a extra cash, just for fun, whatever, Uber is better at that.
What do you think about delivery drivers? Is that a thing of the past now with Grubhub? Not get companies like Papa John's and Burger King or Domino's, maybe just cut out delivery.
Well, I thought it was disrupting them, but so the reason why restaurants use Uber Eats is because it's so much cheaper for them than to hire a delivery person.
Right.
With all the taxes and the liabilities and whatever. I think the people that worked as delivery are doing Uber Eats.
Oh, okay.
Because if I worked for Papa John's delivering pizza for just Papa John's, then it's just this one Papa John's store, and then it's just this one store. But if I start going into other apps, then I can do whatever. And restaurants are happy about it, not only because they don't have to hire, but they're in an app that has so many restaurants. So like if you're visiting Nashville, for example, and you're hungry, you can go through Uber Eats list of restaurants, and it's a nice exposure for all these small restaurants. And like we were talking before, that restaurants are maybe the worst business.
Yeah.
So when you start something like this, it makes a restaurant more of a dynamic business. Like it can be anywhere, it can be anytime. There's always Uber drivers around.
Yeah.
It's
so interesting.
It's making everyone happy is what I'm saying.
Totally. You like in the food Nashville? Speaking of food, you having a good time?
Ooh, if we can do a whole talk about food in Nashville. If anyone here hasn't been to Nashville before, get ready, because the bar goes so up. I was joking with them and asking them to take me to a mediocre place because I can't. It's just really good. I think this is the first time I've been to a southern state. And I live in Chicago, and it's disappointing, and I'm sorry for Chicagoans in here, but Chicago has good food, high-end food, but they don't have this fun like barbecue and this deep taste in food. I don't know. We've only had how many meals?
Just a few, man. Just a few.
2, 3.
Yeah, 3.
But so far, it's ridiculous. Like it's getting me angry.
I love it. Well, man. So what would your I guess in a quick glossing over, what would be a quick few minute sentence if anyone is looking at going into their trading and they really want to amplify their trading experience from I guess what I should say is, what will be some of your advice on someone looking to make that next big jump? Because last 2 years, your life's been radically changing for the better, I would say. So what 2 or 3 pieces of advice would you give other traders who are looking to really just make that massive alteration?
Education, education, education. Keep reading, keep looking, watch videos online, and also the other next thing is surround yourself with positive people and people with knowledge of trading. And yeah, like just be around people that are like you if you can, if you find. But knowledge is really important. And be positive and just and watch Jeremy a lot.
Thanks, man.
I mean, if you can meet him at meetups and just watch his positivity, because even though I admit that I'm a positive person, but being around positive people, it just boosts my energy a lot more, and it just helps more. So yeah, but again, back to education. Educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
Invest in yourself in education.
I love it, dude. I love it. Thank you for spending the time on the interview.
Thank you.
It means a lot. So much easier when you're just right here in front of the, right here in front of the computer. All right, cool, traders. Well, today was a very interesting day. Tons of money to be made. I hope you all absolutely slayed it. There's a lot of day left. And I'm going to pack it up. I'm pretty much locking it in for the rest of the day. If you're watching this on your Sunday morning, listening in, getting your workout in, riding your bike, thanks for being here. For those who were live, hope you had a phenomenal Wednesday, spelled with an I, and I will connect with you all later. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, love life, and trade it. Bye.